Welcome back to the Coach Mac Show, the regular season edition. Coach, before we get into that trip to Mercer University in Manchester, let's go back and look at Pierce a little bit, if you don't mind. Scrimmage, scoreboard-wise, didn't go like we would like, but I'm sure you, reviewing film and everything, found some positives and some negatives too.
Well, to be quite honest with you, the film didn't look real good either. There was three things we wanted to accomplish in the scrimmage, and that's the block, the tackle, and to run to the football. And to be quite honest with you, we weren't successful in any of those three things. We had some kids out for discipline reasons, which people probably noticed, but even with those guys out, the message I tried to get through to our kids is let's go out and do some fundamental things right, such as, like I just said, block, tackle, and run to the football. And I don't think we did real well. The couple guys played well. I thought was Toby Dasher played good at nose guard, and I thought also on defense, also Anthony Jackson, an inside linebacker, I thought did okay. The rest of the defense I thought struggled quite a bit. We didn't play well. To be honest with you, I don't know. Looking back at it, and we tried to put it behind us and move on. Right. It really didn't. There wasn't a lot of good things that came out of that thing on film, and of course the scoreboard was awful also. But what it did, it made us refocus into the fundamentals of what we need to do. Right. These last 2 weeks, last week was really a tough physical week for us. We went back basically to square one when it comes to blocking and tackling. And then also today in practice, a lot of conditioning, a lot of work. We kind of proved to ourselves that we weren't where we need to be as a football team in that scrimmage. And I guess if you want to say what good came out of the Pierce thing, I guess it really showed us we're nowhere near where we need to be. And it was a wake-up call for our players and our coaches also to say, we need to get back some fundamentals, some basics of blocking, tackling, and conditioning. And so last week was a 5-day work week. Usually on an open week, we'll usually go 4 days. Last week went 5. Feel like we needed the extra work. And this week we have another 5 days to prepare for a Saturday game. We're going to film practice, and through filming practice, we're expecting to see some improvements. Last Friday we put what we felt like was our base 28. We call it base 28 plays. Put them on film versus a live defense. Reviewed them today before practice, and we did see a couple things that did get better throughout last week. And even today there was a couple things that we felt like were better this week than they were last week, and especially in the scrimmage. So again, these last week and this week is going to be heavy work weeks trying to get us refocused and moving on. And I told the kids, I said, the focus last week and the focus even this week, even though we have a regular season game, it still needs to be on us. We've got to get Charlton County right before we can really look on to regular season games.
You think maybe with the Pierce thing, don't want to dwell on it too much, but after the trip to the Dome last week, I know I'm guilty of it. Everybody was kind of riding kind of high. Maybe the kids were riding a little high, and Pierce kind of brought everything back into.
Yeah, and I felt like that all winter. I felt like coming out of the Dome, it can work two different ways for you. I've seen it work two different ways with us and even other teams. You'll come out of the Dome extremely motivated and wanting to get back, and it was such a great experience, which was a great experience for us. Oh yeah. Even though we lost the game up there, but you'll have a great off-season program, great off-season workouts, and I felt like our off-season was kind of average. I felt like something was missing. I didn't know exactly what it was. It was leadership in the weight room, or maybe it was just some consistency from some key players. And then spring practice, I thought spring practice went fairly well. Yeah. And then the summer again, I go back. It was somewhat average, I thought. And I tried to explain to the kids that coming out of the Dome, you got to realize everybody in the state sit there for 3 hours or so and watch Charlton County play in the Dome. Right. And that really put a bullseye on you. So anytime you line up, whether it's a scrimmage or regular season games, you got to understand that there's a real bullseye on you. Not only that the fact you're Charlton County and you've had such great tradition, but also where you were last year in the Dome. People want
to knock us down.
People want to knock you down. People want to get themselves there.
Yeah.
And I know it's been a real motivating factor for people such as Clinch County, who whipped us during the regular season, and they came up short to go to the Dome. I know it's a big motivation factor for people like Irwin County, who probably had a better football team than we did, but we were able to beat them
in their place.
At their place and go to the Dome. And I know that Pierce County, they saw us make the trip to the playoffs, and Pierce County, who usually gets beat in the first round and that sort of thing, it seems like, and they saw us make a run, so there's a bullseye from that on us.
They wanted to make a little statement.
They did, and they did make that statement. They're a fantastic football team with a lot of great players. And then, coming in the Manchester game up in Mercer, I mean, Manchester had watched us in the Dome, and I know that they're going to be fired up to get after us. Yep. And that's something our kids need to understand is the trip to the Dome, we gained some experience, but yet the trip to the Dome also put a bullseye on you and so forth. And the thing also, we lost some great seniors last year.
Yeah, a lot of leadership.
Yeah, a lot of leadership. Actually, I feel like, Adam, that last year's seniors might have been the best leaders, the best leading group of seniors I've ever had since I've been here. And that's left a huge void. Not only that there was just a few of them that were outstanding football players. Trey Harrington, two-time All-State punter. Right now he was averaging nearly 40 yards a punt. Right now, I bet we're lucky to average 20 yards a punt. So that's going to be huge. We won football games with Trey Harrington's punting.
Yeah, special teams.
And right now, I can't say that we can do that. Lance Thompson, great job at inside linebackers, tackle sideline to sideline. That's something we haven't replaced. And our roster, right now we have 68 players on our roster, and I think 33 of them weren't on this football team last year.
Really?
So nearly half our football team is new.
Yeah.
So we have some growing pains there. We're having to teach how we do things the Charlton County way.
Yeah.
That's taken some time. So we have a lot of concerns. Are we a playoff football team right now? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I don't think we're a playoff football team at this point. The kids, before practice would start, in the first week, they were talking about state championships and stuff like that. Really, that's ridiculous right now. We're not even a winning football team. We're not even a playoff football team yet. And I tried to explain to our kids, you can talk about all that, but the bottom line is you've got to play for that. You've got to play for the right to be a playoff football team or even a winning team. And we've yet to do that. So
it's not going to happen just because we have that spiral now.
No, that's other teams. That's somebody else's. Those championships behind us on this wall, those were someone else's. Those ain't this football team's at all. Yeah. And even our success last year wasn't this football team's. That was last year's football team. And the success we've had with these spears on those helmets, when people see us roll in, they want to get after us. It's a real season maker for a team to knock us off. There's teams that a couple of years ago we got upset by Telfair County.
Yeah.
Well, irregardless of the record, what they look back on that season is we beat Charlton.
We beat Charlton,
and that was and that made their season.
No doubt about it. Well, 25 years of what you've done here, Coach, it puts a big target on the county.
Never not making the playoffs, and only one season where we came up short for winning records, and 7 times to the state championship game. Yeah, people know that stuff, and they want to get after us. And you take it even a step further. You can turn TV on Saturday and see Charlton County kids play, and Sunday on the NFL you can see a Charlton County kid play. All those things rolled up into a big package, is a big target for people, and they want to get after us.
All right, Coach, before we get into the Mercer and the Manchester, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
The Folkestone Pharmacy, your original hometown pharmacy for over 45 years, is a proud sponsor of Charlton Sportsnet broadcasts. Folkestone Pharmacy accepts insurance from most local employers, including the City of Folkestone, Charlton County, Babcock and Wilcox, AJM, Charlton Memorial Hospital, and many others. The Folkestone Pharmacy wishes the Indians best of luck this season.
All right, welcome back to the Coach Mac Show. This portion of our show will be the Senior Spotlight, and Coach, I believe we're going to talk about Levi Cribb.
Levi Cribb, number 58. He's been in our program since junior high football, and Levi, Levi's a 6'3", 295-pound offensive guard for us. He's a fantastic student, St. George guy, and I'm really proud of our St. George players because those guys make a special commitment to be a part of this football team.
It's a dedication.
Yeah, our St. George kids don't miss practice. They don't miss workouts. They've got to travel up to 35 miles one way to get into school, and they have late evenings of practice and got to go home and turn around. It seems like next morning, head right back early. But Levi Cribb has been a kid that's been in our program. As a freshman, he was one of those typical freshman offensive linemen, kind of a young, soft kind of offensive lineman type kid. But he understood, being a smart guy, he understood the benefits and the opportunity he had through our weight program, through our strength program, and he really took advantage of it. And through our strength program, Levi has turned himself into a very, very strong football player. He bench presses probably over 325. He squats nearly 500. Power cleans nearly 300. He's a student athlete that's being looked at by some colleges. Some colleges are taking good looks at him. And I think before this thing's over for him, he'll probably receive an offer from a college to play college football someday. But Levi is one of those kids that every coach loves to have simply because he's zero discipline problems, very low maintenance, as we would say. He's perfect in the classroom. He tries hard in practice, real leader in the weight room. So, Levi Cribb is really a special kid. And he's a guy that next year, when he graduates this year and next year we try to fill that offensive line spot, you don't fill it with another Levi Cribb.
Yeah.
You find somebody and he's not going to measure up. You know he's not going to measure up, but I can't say enough about the job, the commitment, and the dedication Levi has shown to this football program over his 4 years now.
That is fantastic. And considering all the linemen that we've had here, for that kind of high praise, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's going to, rest of his life, he'll hear Coach Russ Murray's voice in his head probably from all the screaming Coach Murray has done at him. But Levi is just a fantastic young man. He's really a kid that all of Charlton County, especially those folks down in St. George, can really be proud of.
I know, some of those children, I know, I've had two daughters that lived in St. George when they were in school here. Some of those kids ride a bus 2.5 hours.
Exactly. Our St. George kids, every St. George player I've had has been a good player. I've had 2 starting quarterbacks who have been from St. George. I've had leading tacklers and Lance Thompson. Well, last year you look at Lance Thompson, a St. George guy. Trey Harrington, a St. George guy. Those guys, like I said, they're 4-year guys, never missed any workouts or anything like that. You have guys that live right down the street that have trouble making it to school some days. These St. George guys are the first ones there and the last ones to leave here.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really proud of those guys. And I tell them all the time how much I appreciate their commitment to playing Charlton County football. And like I said, you go back and look at all the players I've had, great players from Ty Cruz, Spencer Cruz, Tony Gohagen, Jeremy Privet, who's still the state's all-time leading passer from St. George. All those guys from St. George, great players. So I really appreciate those guys, and anytime I get a kid from there, I know he's going to be a good football player.
No doubt about it. Well, Coach, we appreciate that, and congratulations to Levi Cribb on the Senior Spotlight. And we will be right back after this message.
Okefenokee Rural Electric Membership Corporation offers more than dependable electrical energy at a competitive price. Quality service is provided by a friendly and professional staff trained to meet your every electrical power need, whether residential, commercial, or industrial. If you have any questions or need information, call us at 1-800-262-5131. Okefenokee REMC, owned by those we serve. A proud sponsor of this year's Indian football broadcast.
All right, welcome back to the Coach Mac Show. Looking ahead to, I keep saying we're going to play Mercer. Manchester at Mercer. Manchester is a former playoff team from last year, lost to Calhoun in the first round. But from what I've been reading on them, they're a regular playoff contender.
They are a regular playoff team. They're a very, very, very good football team. We've been able to see film on them. We saw the film against Harris County, their scrimmage, and they are a very solid football team. They run the wing T formation, but they are traditionally a split-back veer team. So this week we have spent time on them preparing for the wing tee and also spending time preparing for split back veer, because we do know that they had a lot of success last year with the split back veer and just have now went to the wing tee. So just trying to have everything covered. We're preparing for that. Defensively, they're a 3-man front. Their nose guard is 6'5", 325 pounds. And they look very big on film, but today I got their roster. And to be quite honest with you, I think we'd be better off playing Mercer than Manchester, because these guys are huge. I mean, nose guard, like I said, 6'5", 325. One defensive end is 6'5", 250. Receivers are 6'3", 200 pounds, and this is a very, very good AA playoff football team. This team right here is a team that every year is in the middle of the conversation of who has a chance to play at the end in AA. Yeah. So, it's going to be tough. We're stepping up out of our classification up to AA. And not only that, but we're playing someone who, man for man, is much bigger than we are, and probably runs a little bit better than we do. So it could be a real challenge, a real tough football game for us. And of course, the conditions are going to be tough. 5 o'clock kickoff. We know it's going to be the end of August. Yeah. It's going to be warm, and that's something we've really been trying to prepare for. Is the heat. And what we've done is, in preparing to play Manchester, is we've tried to get some guys really force the issue of kids playing one way, trying to get more guys to step up and be players, be starters. And on defense, we're going to start probably 4 guys for the first time. They're going to be their first varsity start. Will be this Saturday at 5 o'clock against them. And on offense, again, we have some guys that are going to just be playing on the offensive side of the ball. So hopefully at the end of the game we have something left against these guys. They have a big roster, and they're going to be able to play a lot of guys one way. But they're a fantastic football team. They're a team that has a legitimate chance of going undefeated regular season. They have a legitimate chance of saying, listen, we're going to be playing deep in the AA playoffs, and they maybe even have a chance to play for it at the end. They're that good. But again, I feel like it's only, like I tell the kids, they can't eat us. So what we got to do is we got to go out and play as hard as we can and try to match them the best we can. But I think the whole trip up, the whole idea, we're used to taking long road trips. We're used to playing well on the road. Actually, I think we play better on the road than we do at home. And this being a neutral site, this stadium at Mercer is a beautiful facility. Oh, yeah. It's basically brand new, turf field, has the Jumbotron, the whole thing. It's really a fantastic place to watch high school football. It's big enough where I think they're going to have everybody on the home side. The place holds probably 30,000, I guess. So the home side holds nearly 20. So I think they're going to have everybody on that side. We're going to be the home team and everything. I expect a lot of people to make the trip. The tickets are $10, which sounds a little pricey, but the thing is, you get 2 for 1. You come watch our game, you can stick around and watch Fitzgerald play Heard County. Heard County, just like Manchester, a big physical football team. They have a Division I running back, a kid that's been offered by SEC schools, so you get to see that. That player right there for Heard. Fitzgerald's coming off a big win from Worth County, 27-0. So they're on a little bit of a roll right there. And then we're going to play a tough Manchester team. We're looking for a bounce back. Manchester's looking to get things rolling. So it ought to be a great day for high school football,
That's the way to start the season.
Up in Middle Georgia, and I think it's going to be a great atmosphere. It's going to be an atmosphere I'm looking forward to our kids experiencing, because, the thing that I haven't told them this, but what I'm looking for is I'm looking for our kids to rise to the competition. If we can rise to the competition and play in an atmosphere like that, under conditions like that, then I would think that when we come home and we start playing our rest of our schedule, that we ought to be able to be competitive in each and every football game. Now, if we go up there and lay an egg and the offense doesn't get going like it did a couple Fridays ago, defense won't tackle like it did a couple Fridays ago, then we're going to come home, being 0-1, and we're going to be looking at a very good, very tough Hilliard football team rolling in here. It could be a tough season. It could be way down the road before we think we might have a chance for our first win. And so we have a lot of work to do. This is a big game. And also, to mention the playoff brackets.
Right.
Every game for us is big because every game we play goes to the playoff brackets, the points, the point system.
The power rankings.
So back in the days before the power system, power rankings, we could play people, and if you did come up short, you still didn't want to lose to them,
right.
But it didn't affect you one way or another come playoff time. Only region play affected you.
Right.
Now we have this new system to where a game against Manchester, if we lose it, we basically get no points. We're behind everybody who had wins, in the first game. So, and then you're playing catch up from that point on. So this is a big game for us. It's a big game for us to test where we are, to see where we are, to measure what kind of improvement we've made from the last game to this point. And so, I'm looking forward to getting up there, looking forward for the trip, and with the help of the Booster Club and State Farm Insurance, Brian Hewling, and also State Farm Insurance companies throughout Middle Georgia, Heard County, Fitzgerald, and Manchester have all come together. Mercer's not just letting us have this facility for a day.
I imagine not.
They're charging, I believe, over $5,000 for the use of this facility.
Really?
And the State Farm Insurance companies from those towns and Macon have all come together to help sponsor this game and help put it on. So we truly appreciate State Farm Insurance and Brian Hewling especially.
Brian does so much for the team anyway.
Well, Brian, we wouldn't be probably sitting where we're sitting if it wasn't for guys like Brian Hewling and Dr. Laracy and our school board. So, yeah, there's a lot of people that do a lot of things for us, and Brian Hewling does as much or more than really anybody I know. So we appreciate State Farm, not just locally in Folkestone, but in Fitzgerald, Manchester, Heard, and in Macon, Georgia, for helping us be able to use this facility. And it's going to be a real exciting game. I think it's going to be an exciting atmosphere, and I hope we have a lot of people make the trip to Macon.
Charlton always travels well.
Make the trip to Macon, and not only watch us, but maybe I'm going to give a shout out to Fitzgerald. It's kind of a north versus south. That's the name of this game. That's what this game's called, the North-South Kickoff Classic. And so hopefully we'll have a lot of people support us and also support Fitzgerald. And hopefully,
I'm sure Fitzgerald fans will be reciprocating that to us.
I'm sure they will, because I'm sure both South Georgia schools want each other to win, and see if we can have a South Georgia sweep in this thing.
Well, there's a little bit of South Georgia pride anyway. Camden took care of a Florida school night before last.
That's right.
And then Buford went down and took care of a power in Florida with Trinity. So, I mean, a lot of Georgia pride in high school.
That's right. I mean, this weekend you got to see a lot of games played, interstate games. Alabama versus Georgia teams, and Alabama versus Florida, and Georgia and Florida, and things such as that. But yeah, you take pride in where you're from, and you take pride. You want to represent your area. And hopefully we can hold up our end to it, and I'm sure Fitzgerald will, and hopefully we will.
Oh, we'll do it, Coach. We'll do it.
I hope so.
I was reading on the Manchester head coach. He's been there second or third year.
I believe second or third year. He's a young guy, but he does a tremendous job with that football.
That's what I was reading from. He went in a team that was already a regular playoff. Making playoff appearances, changed everything, and the kids have bought into it up there.
They really have. He's a great guy, and does Tanner Glisson. He does a really great job with that football program, and like I said, Manchester has a lot of tradition themselves. They've won a state championship not long ago, and they've played in the Dome over these last few years. This isn't a football team this is going to be new to them, or this atmosphere is going to be new to them. They're a program that's used to a lot of success.
Yeah.
So if we go in there not ready at all, we can get blown out of this place. So we need to be ready.
Do you have any key players you're looking at, Coach? I know you've seen a little bit of film on them already, or no?
Well, like I said, their defensive line is huge. Their offensive line is huge. Their skilled guys have nice size and great speed. I think that in no one position do I feel like we have an advantage right now. What we have to do, and talking with the coaches and putting together our game plan, is we just have to do a better job of executing. It goes back to the three things we talked about: blocking, tackling, and getting people to the football, running to the football. And if we can do those three things, and plus straighten up our special teams a little bit. Missing Trey Harrington, I mean,
That's huge.
that's really huge. I mean, that guy, you know, an all-state punter 2 years in a row, and we're trying to find somebody that can replace him. Again, it's one like we talked about with Levi. When Levi leaves, you don't just stick a 6'3", you know, 295-pound guy.
They don't come around Charlton every day.
Right there in his place. And when you have a two-time all-state punter, you just don't replace him with another all-state punter.
Right.
You gotta work at it, and we've been trying to work at it, and so right there's a big concern for us is on special teams. We have some guys that are on coverage teams, punt coverage, kick coverage, that are going to be new. They're going to be guys that we really haven't had a chance to see yet. So it's going to be it's going to be an interesting game. We're going to learn a lot more about ourselves, and hopefully we come back with some positives to build on.
Kickoff's at 5 o'clock. Approximately a 3-hour ride.
About a 3-hour ride. You know, there's a couple different ways to get to Macon. You can go through the back country, through McRae and all that, and through that way, or most people, and the way we're going to go is go to Waycross, get on Corridor Z, take it over to Tifton. We're going to eat in Tifton, and go right up I-75 straight into Macon. And when you get to Macon, I know you guys talked about putting the directions on, but really the simplest way is you stay on 75.
Right.
We're all used to going around on 475 to Atlanta, but you stay on 75, and I believe it might be the second exit, maybe 163, I believe. The second exit is be the Mercer exit, Mercer University. You exit there, and as soon as you exit, you're going to see the stadium up on the left-hand side, but you'll see it as you exit to the right.
On the left-hand side of the interstate?
Right there on the right-hand side. You're going to see the stadium as you come up the off-ramp. And you're going to turn to the right. The stadium is going to be on the left. So it's real simple. Stay on 75. Get off at, I believe, the second exit, the Mercer University. The stadium's right there. Find a place to park. Go on the home side, which will be the nearest side to you. And that's where we'll be.
$10 a ticket.
$10 a ticket. And that's for both games. That's for both games.
Kickoff's at 5 o'clock. And I'm sure the football team will have stops along the way, like.
Yeah, we've done this before. We've been up and down the interstate. We know the rest areas. We know the routine, and like I said, our kids travel well. We've won our biggest football games on the road.
Yeah.
And so hopefully we can get this season off with a big win on the road up at Mercer.
We look forward to it, Coach. We'll see you at the game Saturday, and next week getting ready for Hilliard.
That's right.
All right.